The Devil's House. On the outskirts of town, shrouded by dense woods, stood a house no one dared approach. Locals whispered its name, the Devil's House. With its rotting timbers and shattered windows, it seemed to breathe malevolence. Legend said that anyone who entered would never leave the same, or never leave at all. Elena, a thrill-seeker with a passion for the paranormal, couldn't resist the challenge. Armed with a flashlight and a voice recorder, she made her way to the cursed house on a cold, moonless night. As she stepped onto the creaking porch, the air grew heavy and the temperature dropped. She hesitated but pushed the door open. The inside was worse than she imagined. Cobwebs draped the walls, and the air was thick with the stench of decay. Her flashlight flickered, casting shadows that seemed to shift and writhe. "Just an old house," she whispered to herself, turning on the recorder. Elena reporting, entered the infamous Devil's House. No signs of... A loud bang interrupted her. Spinning around, she saw the front door slam shut on its own. "Wind," she muttered, though there was none. The floorboards groaned under her feet as she moved deeper into the house. Faint whispers seemed to echo from the walls, unintelligible but persistent. She stopped in what once might have been the living room. A broken chandelier hung precariously, and a moldy sofa sat beneath it. "Is anyone here?" she called out, her voice shaking. The whispers stopped. For a moment there was only silence, and then a low growl from behind her. Spinning around, she found herself face to face with nothing but darkness. Her flashlight dimmed, barely illuminating the room. She heard footsteps upstairs, slow and deliberate. Against her better judgment, Elena climbed the staircase, the creaking steps sounding like screams in the oppressive quiet. At the top, a narrow hallway stretched before her. Doors lined the walls, some ajar, others closed. A faint red light seeped from beneath one door at the end of the hall. Her heart pounded as she approached it, each step feeling like a descent into hell. When she pushed the door open, her flashlight failed entirely. The room was bathed in an unnatural crimson glow. Symbols were scrawled on the walls, their jagged shapes radiating menace. In the center of the room stood a figure, a tall, shadowy form with glowing red eyes. Elena froze, unable to breathe. The figure moved closer, its presence suffocating. A voice filled her head, deep and echoing. "You were warned," it said, "yet you came." The door slammed shut behind her, and the walls seemed to close in. Elena screamed, dropping her flashlight and recorder. The last thing she saw before darkness consumed her was the figure reaching out, its clawed hand inches from her face. The next morning, locals found the house as they always had, silent and undisturbed. But outside, lying in the dirt, was Elena's recorder. When they played it back, her final words sent chills through them. "It's real. It's waiting. Don't come here." Then a guttural laugh, and the recording ended.